yet he still is not a Steeler. CC points out an interesting angle, referencing J.J. McCarthy's recent comments where the young quarterback stated that Minnesota has not assured him that he is their QB1, acknowledging that he still has to earn it. That, in itself, is revealing. But what really has the internet buzzing is a wild theory that has taken root among Steelers fans, a theory that has quickly gained traction in the online sports world. And of course, this is exactly the kind of speculation that fuels fan engagement and builds anticipation in the modern NFL landscape. The belief is that on April 9th, when Pat McAfee hosts a major event in Pittsburgh, a highly publicized appearance featuring none other than LeBron James in an extended 1-hour, 15-minute interview, McAfee will not be arriving alone. The theory suggests that Aaron Rodgers will make a dramatic entrance and, in front of an electrified Pittsburgh crowd, officially announce that he is signed with the Steelers. It's a spectacle straight out of the pro wrestling playbook, a move designed to maximize attention, engagement, and, of course, sheer entertainment value. Here's the problem. As much as Steelers fans would undoubtedly celebrate Rodgers' arrival, the reality is that McAfee's presence might overshadow the quarterback himself. That speaks volumes about where Rodgers stands in the public perception right now. This isn't the Aaron Rodgers a decade ago, the reigning MVP, the clear-cut difference-maker who will be welcomed with open arms in any franchise. Instead, he's a veteran quarterback with undeniable talent but plenty of baggage, lingering questions about a commitment, and a public persona that is often distracted from his play on the field. Beyond that, there's a deeper issue at play. If this spectacle is actually in the works, if Rodgers is truly waiting for this moment to reveal his decision rather than simply finalizing a deal and beginning the process of integrating with his new team, then he is actively putting the Steelers at a competitive disadvantage. The Pittsburgh front office cannot afford to sit idly by, waiting on Rodgers' decision, while free agency and potential trade opportunities pass them by. This is a team with urgency. This is a team with veteran leaders like Cam Hayward, who made it clear just last week, either you want to be a Steeler or you don't. Rodgers' hesitation, if it is indeed tied some grand reveal rather than legitimate football deliberation, sends the wrong message. Instead of proving he is committed to the Steelers' culture of winning, instead of stepping into the locker room as a leader ready to elevate the franchise, he risks alienating himself before he ever takes a snap. For an organization that prides itself on stability, discipline, and a team-first mentality, this would be a disastrous first impression. There is also an undeniable irony in all of this. Rodgers has spoken about missing the culture in Green Bay, about longing for the structure and success that defined his time with the Packers. If that's truly the case, then why hasn't he already signed with the one team that most closely resembles that environment? The Steelers, like the Packers, are a franchise built on tradition, consistency, and a leadership structure that values long-term success over short-term drama. They are not an organization that typically engages in off-the-field theatrics. If Rodgers genuinely craves the type of stability he once had in Green Bay, why is this even a discussion? The entire situation brings to mind one of the most infamous moments in sports spectacle history, the night LeBron James stood before a roaring Miami crowd and declared, "Not one, not two, not three, not four," as he promised a dynasty that never quite materialized. The energy in that building was electric. The celebration was massive, but sitting courtside, Pat Riley looked less than thrilled. Why? Because the focus was on the spectacle, not the work required to actually achieve greatness. The Heat did win championships, but there will always be a lingering debate about whether they underachieved given the talent on that roster. For Rodgers, there is no margin for error. If this move to Pittsburgh turns into a drawn-out production, if the fanfare outweighs the substance, he better deliver. The difference between LeBron's Heat and Rodgers' potential Steelers tenure is that LeBron was in his prime, and even in the face of scrutiny, he backed it up. Rodgers, on the other hand, has already left fans and analysts questioning whether his best days are behind him. If he makes this grand an entrance and doesn't immediately lead Pittsburgh to a deep playoff run, the backlash will be severe. That's why, for all the talk of nostalgia in Green Bay, this entire narrative feels hollow. If Rodgers is truly prioritizing winning, then the delay makes no sense. And if he's actually weighing Minnesota as a more viable option, well, that's an entirely different conversation. On paper, The Vikings offer an undeniably attractive situation, a better offensive line, a generational talent in Justin Jefferson, a dynamic receiving core, and a strong defense. That is a team built to win now. If Rodgers is waiting to see how things shake out in Minnesota before making his decision, that at least would be understandable from a football perspective. But let's not ignore the other possibility, the nightmare scenario for Pittsburgh. What if this grand reveal never comes? What if Rodgers walks onto McAfee set in Pittsburgh, not in black and gold, but in purple and gold? What if, in the most pro wrestling heel turn of all time, he announces that he is heading to the Vikings instead? For Steelers fans, that would be the ultimate gut punch. It would leave the franchise in an embarrassing position, empty-handed after waiting for Rodgers while other quarterback options slipped away. This is why Pittsburgh cannot afford to sit back and hope. Hope is not a strategy in the NFL. If Rodgers wants to be a Steeler, he needs to say it, sign the deal, and get to work. If he's waiting for some grand moment, some theatrical unveiling, then the Steelers may need to reconsider whether this is really the right move for their future. Because at some point, the question is no longer about Rodgers' talent. It's about his priorities. And right now, that remains a mystery.